What's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Ravi Wadden, and in today's video, I want to talk about an amazing lease deal on a 2024 Toyota Tundra Limited. Now, a lot of you that watch my videos have requested a non-electric vehicle lease video and a video on a full-size pickup truck, so this video is for you. Now, in the first part of this video, what we'll do is we'll look at the manufacturer's offer on this 2024 Toyota Tundra Limited. We'll cover the mileage that's allowed, we'll cover the MSRP of the car, and we'll cover the monthly payment, and I'll give you lots of other helpful tips and tricks along the way. Then, in the second part of this video, what we'll do is we'll run my 1.25% rule of leasing on this Toyota Tundra Limited. Now, for those of you that aren't familiar with my 1.25% rule of leasing, it's just a rule of thumb that I use to determine whether or not a particular lease deal is a good lease deal in terms of value. And then in the third part of this video, what we'll do is we'll compare the monthly finance payments to the monthly lease payments, and hopefully I'll be able to communicate and show you guys why leasing this truck is sort of a no-brainer. So if that sounds good to you, please be sure to like this video, and please be sure to give me a subscribe or a follow. It would be greatly appreciated. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here is the manufacturer's offer on this 2024 Toyota Tundra Limited. The zip code that I'm using is 90001, which is a Southern California zip code. So your monthly payment and your due at signing amounts may differ depending on where you live. Now let's go ahead and make this a little bit bigger so it's easier for you guys to read. So as you can see, right now you can lease this 2024 Toyota Tundra Limited. Please pardon the sirens in the background. I live in downtown. But you can lease this 2024 Tundra Limited for $569 a month. It's a 36-month lease that requires $3,999 due at signing. And as you can see, this offer is good until June 3rd, 2024. So if you're watching this video, you probably got about 5 or 6 days left to get this offer. Now, in terms of the trim, this is the Tundra 4-wheel drive Crew Max LTD V6 10-speed automatic transmission. And you'll see that this lease is based on 10,000 miles a year, but ladies and gentlemen, you can get a 12,000 or a 15,000 mile a year lease if you need it. And if you pay for that upfront, it's actually cheaper than paying the excess mileage penalty, which you'll see right here is 15 cents per mile. You'll also see that the security deposit is waived and that this lease excludes tax, title, license, registration fees, and dealer options and charges. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I think a lot of people see this $4,000 that's due at signing, and they don't realize that this doesn't include registration fees. So if you live in like California, or if you live in Washington and Seattle where I live, you know, on a truck like this that has a $63,000 MSRP, as you can see here, you're probably looking at about yearly registration of about $700 to $800, which has not been accounted for in this $4,000 that is due at signing. Now, if we scroll down a little bit, and let's actually make this bigger so you can read the fine print easier, you'll see that this truck has an MSRP of $63,087, and you'll see that the $3,999 that's due at signing includes a $2,780 customer down payment. It includes your first month's payment of $569, and it includes a $650 acquisition fee. And ladies and gentlemen, the acquisition fee is something that you can't negotiate. Any lease, every lease essentially has an acquisition fee. Depending on the manufacturer, it can vary from about $300 to $400 all the way up to about $1,000 if you're looking at the more premium brands. And you'll also see that dealer sets the final price. And ladies and gentlemen, this is a tip that, you know, I want all of you guys to hear, is you want to avoid dealers that are charging markups, that are charging a second sticker, that are charging prices above the MSRP. You don't want to deal with those dealers. There are a lot of dealers across the nation and across regions that are actually selling Toyotas and all other cars, you know, below MSRP. And that will actually lower the price of this lease deal too. So, you know, when you see a lease deal like this, please note that this is not, you know, the bottom dollar that you can get this lease for. This price can be negotiated. You can negotiate the selling price of this lease lower. And for every $1,000 that you negotiate down on a 36-month lease, you're looking at about a $30 reduction in your monthly payment. Now, in this part of the video, what I want to do is run my 1.25% rule of leasing on this Toyota Tundra Limited. Now, the 1.25% rule of leasing is just a rule of thumb that I use to determine whether or not a lease or a particular lease is a good deal in terms of value, because, you know, anytime you have a $569 monthly payment with $4,000 down, you need some context. Is it a $100,000 car? Is it a $150,000 car? Or is it a $10,000 car? You know, just having a $569 a monthly payment with $4,000 down really doesn't give you context, and that's where the 1.25% rule of leasing comes in. So let's go ahead and run that on this 2024 Toyota Tundra Limited. Now, to run the 1.25% rule of leasing, what I'm going to do is take the $3,999 that's due at signing, and what I'm going to do is subtract the $569 from that amount, since that's the monthly payment and that's included in the due at signing amount. And when I do that, I get $3,430. Now what I'm going to do is divide this by 36, since this is a 36-month lease, and what that does is it takes that due at signing amount and it breaks it into 36 equal parts, and when I do that, I get $95.27. Now what I'm going to do is actually add the $569 monthly payment back in to this, and when I do that, I get a pre-tax monthly payment with $0 down, not $0 due at signing or $0 in drive-offs, $0 down, of $664.27. And what I'm going to do now is multiply this by 1.1 to account for 10% sales tax. And I understand that where you live, sales tax might be, it might be lower than 10%. I think here in Seattle and Southern California, I use 10% because that is a conservative estimate. And when I do that, I get a $0 down monthly payment, including taxes, of $730 a month. Now, the last step for the 1.25% rule of leasing is to divide this amount by the MSRP of the car or truck that you're looking at. And in this case, it's $63,087. I get 0.0116. What I'll do is actually multiply this by 100 to move the decimal point over 2 spots. And when I do that, I get 1.15%, closer to 1.16%. So ladies and gentlemen, anytime your monthly payment with $0 down, including taxes, is less than 1.5% of the MSRP, that's that's an awesome lease deal. That's a car that or truck that I am definitely leasing. And if your monthly payment with $0 down, including taxes, is less than 1.25% of the MSRP, that's a great lease deal. That's a car that I am definitely leasing. I'm not financing that car. I'm not even considering financing that car in most cases. And anytime your monthly payment with $0 down, including taxes, is less than 1% of the vehicle's MSRP, that's an amazing lease deal. And ladies and gentlemen, those sub 1% lease deals don't come around very often. And those sub 1% lease deals that we are seeing right now are all on electric vehicles or plug-in hybrids, since they qualify for the $7,500 EV tax credit. But sitting at 1.15% on a full-size truck, especially a 2024 Toyota Tundra Limited, this is why I think, this is an awesome lease deal. Now, in this part of the video, what I want to do is compare the monthly finance payments if you were to buy this car to the monthly lease payments. And I want to show you guys, give you some context as to why leasing this particular truck is a no-brainer. So as you can see here, I'm using the auto loan calculator, and I've already pre-filled all of these sections. I used an auto price or a vehicle price of $63,087. I used a loan term of 72 months. I used an interest rate of 4.99%. I didn't add any cash incentives or a down payment or a trade-in value. I used a 10% sales tax rate, and I didn't include title, registration, and other fees. And when I did that, the monthly payment was actually $1,015.72 a month. And for those of you curious why I use 72 months and 4.99%, well, that is the manufacturer's offer from Toyota. As you can see, it's 4.99% for 72 months, and that's why I use those particular numbers. And as I said, the monthly payment is over $1,000 on a 72-month loan at $1,015. And if you remember, the monthly lease payment with $0 down, including taxes, was $730 a month. So ladies and gentlemen, that's quite a significant difference. You're looking at a monthly payment difference of about $270, give or take, a month. Now, some of you may be saying, hey, Ravi, but nobody's going to pay the full MSRP for the truck, or maybe you would in this case. But let's just assume that you got a $5,000 dealer discount on this Toyota Tundra. Let's just say the selling price is $58,087. And even if you did that, the monthly payment is still $935 a month, compared to $730 a month, which is a $205 difference. And remember, this monthly payment of $730 per month is just the manufacturer's offer. In some cases, dealers, may not offer or honor this offer, but in some cases, the dealers will honor this offer, and in some cases, you might even be able to negotiate a lower selling price, making the monthly payment even lower than $730 a month. And if you guys want, pre-negotiated lease deals, we actually have a Toyota Tacoma on drivematch.com, and you guys can go ahead and check it out. The DriveMatch link is in my description below. Now, a lot of you watching are probably saying, hey, Ravi, but when you buy the truck for 4.99% in 72 months, it's your truck. You can keep it for as long as you want. Well, let's not forget that when you lease a truck or when you lease a Toyota, you actually have a buyout option. And in this case, if I actually zoom in here, you'll see that you have a lease and purchase option or a purchase amount of $42,268. So after you drive this truck for 36 months or lease this truck for 36 months, you can buy it for $42,268 if you have positive equity and if it makes financial sense for you to do so. And this, ladies and gentlemen, the monthly payment difference between financing and leasing this car is the reason that I would lease this Toyota Tundra Limited. And with that, I'm going to call it a video. Now, if you guys have any questions about car leasing in general, or any questions about DriveMatch, or any questions about this 2024 Toyota Tundra Limited, or if you want me to do a video on this on another type of car or another model that you have in mind, please let me know in the comment section below. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. But with that, I'm gonna call it a video. Financial knowledge is power. Please like and follow for more.